Every morning, you wake up with two choices: to let the day control you, or to take control of the day. The ancient Stoics believed that the first moments after you open your eyes determine the strength, the clarity, and the discipline you carry for the next 24 hours. Most people rush into their mornings with stress, noise, and distraction. But not you. Today, you're about to discover 10 powerful Stoic habits that can completely transform the way you start your day, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If you practice them, your mornings will no longer be chaotic, they will become a weapon. A Stoic morning routine is not about perfection. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. or forcing yourself into rigid rules. It's about aligning your mind with what truly matters before the world tries to pull you in every direction. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, all understood one simple truth: your morning sets the rhythm of your entire life. They didn't start their days with mindless distractions, endless scrolling, or immediate stress. Instead, they grounded themselves in reflection, discipline, and clarity. They prepared their minds the way a warrior sharpens a blade, with intention. In this video, you're going to learn 10 things you should do every morning to live with more purpose, more strength, and more control. These are not theories. They are practical actions rooted in ancient philosophy, actions that can help you manage stress, build discipline, gain confidence, and stay focused on what really matters. Some of these practices will challenge you. Some will calm you. But each one is designed to bring you closer to the person you want to become. Whether you're trying to improve your mindset, your productivity, or your emotional resilience, this Stoic morning routine will give you a reliable framework to start every day with power and clarity. So take a breath, center yourself, and let's begin. 1. Silence before action. Before the world begins demanding your attention, before messages, noise, and responsibilities pull you in every direction, the Stoics believed you must start your day in complete silence. Not just the absence of sound, but the presence of awareness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote in his private meditations before sunrise, sitting alone with his thoughts, preparing his mind for the challenges ahead. To him, silence was not an escape from life, it was a preparation for it. And in a modern world filled with constant noise, this practice is more valuable than ever. When you wake up, resist the urge to grab your phone. Don't check notifications, don't open social media, don't rush into movement. Instead, sit down, breathe slowly, and let your mind settle. Allow the thoughts that appear to simply pass through you without judgment. This is your moment to build mental clarity before taking action. Silence creates space. Space builds intention. And intention shapes your entire day. During these first quiet minutes, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? Not, what must I do, but, who must I become? This shift in focus transforms your routine from reactive to proactive, from chaotic to controlled. Silence also reconnects you with your inner strength. It reminds you that you are not defined by yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's fears. You are defined by the choices you make now, in this moment of stillness. You don't need 30 minutes. You don't need a perfect meditation space. Even 2 to 5 minutes of silence can change everything. This simple Stoic ritual grounds your emotions, sharpens your thinking, and prepares your mind like a warrior sharpening his sword. When you start your morning from a place of calm clarity, you become far less vulnerable to stress, distraction, and negativity throughout the day. Most people wake up and immediately lose control of their mind. But you are choosing the opposite path, the Stoic path. A path where silence becomes your strength, your anchor, and your foundation for the 9 principles that follow. 2. Define today's responsibilities. One of the most powerful Stoic practices you can do every morning is to clearly define your responsibilities for the day. Not your wishes. Not your distractions. Not the things that would be nice to accomplish, but the tasks that truly matter, the ones aligned with your purpose and values. The Stoics believed deeply in duty. Marcus Aurelius wrote repeatedly that a human being is meant to contribute, to act, and to fulfill their role with excellence. He reminded himself each morning, at dawn, when you wake, remember your purpose as a human being. In other words, don't drift through the day, direct it. Start by identifying the essential actions that must be completed today. Ask yourself 3 Stoic questions. 1. What is my duty today? What responsibilities cannot be postponed, avoided, or ignored? 2. What actions will move me closer to the life I want? What small step can I take toward my long-term goals? 3. What tasks belong to me, and only me? What is within my control, and what must I let go of? When you define your responsibilities clearly, you stop wasting mental energy on unnecessary decisions. You no longer wake up wondering how the day will unfold. You decide it. You shape it. You take ownership of it. The Stoics understood that clarity eliminates chaos. If you know what your priorities are, you won't get lost in the noise, the drama, or the endless distractions that appear throughout the day. You don't need a long to-do list. You need a meaningful one. Choose 3 to 5 high-value responsibilities, actions that, if completed, would make your day productive and purposeful. Write them down. Visualize yourself completing them. This transforms your tasks from vague ideas into commitments. Another important part of this principle is rejecting what is not yours. Epictetus said, focus on what you can control, and detach from what you cannot. If a responsibility doesn't belong to you, someone else's emotions, opinions, or chaos, do not carry it. You weaken yourself when you try to do everything. Strength comes from doing the right things, not the most things. When you wake up and define your responsibilities, you are anchoring yourself to purpose. You are telling your mind, this is what matters today. This is my mission. And once you set that intention, every decision becomes easier. Every distraction becomes less powerful. Every moment feels more aligned. This is how a Stoic moves through life, not drifting, not overwhelmed, not pulled by impulses, but guided by clarity, discipline, and duty. 3. Practice negative visualization. One of the most misunderstood yet powerful Stoic practices is negative visualization, the art of mentally preparing for challenges before they appear. This is not pessimism. It is not expecting the worst. It is training your mind to remain unshaken when difficulties arise. Seneca wrote that, he suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. But he also believed that imagining potential obstacles strengthens your ability to face them. The purpose is not fear. The purpose is resilience. Each morning, take a few minutes to visualize the possible difficulties you might encounter today. Maybe someone will irritate you. Maybe your plans will change unexpectedly. Maybe you'll face stress, delay, criticism, or fatigue. The Stoic doesn't avoid these possibilities, he acknowledges them, accepts them, and prepares for them. Imagine yourself responding with calm, patience, and strength. Imagine yourself staying grounded when someone disrespects you. Imagine yourself keeping your values even when the situation becomes difficult. By doing this, you remove the element of surprise, which is often what destabilizes people. Most suffering comes not from the event itself, but from the shock of it. When you train your mind in advance, life loses its ability to shake you so easily. Negative visualization also helps you appreciate what you already have. When you imagine losing something, your health, your time, your relationships, your opportunities, you become more grateful and present. The Stoics believe that nothing is guaranteed. Everything is on loan from life. When you remember that, your appreciation becomes deeper. This practice also strengthens your self-control. If you expect challenges, you won't react impulsively. If you anticipate conflict, you won't take it personally. If you foresee obstacles, you won't give up when they appear. You move through your day like someone who has already rehearsed victory. The key is not to visualize disaster. The key is to visualize yourself remaining strong in the face of it. That is where transformation happens, not in avoiding difficulty, but in mastering your response to it. When you practice negative visualization every morning, you become harder to disturb, harder to manipulate, harder to break. Life no longer feels like something that happens to you. You become the steady center, the calm observer, the one who is prepared. This is how the Stoics fortified their minds, by rehearsing challenges so that when reality arrived, they were already ready. 4. Detach from yesterday. Every morning offers a silent opportunity that most people ignore, the chance to start over. The Stoics believe that each day is a new life, a fresh beginning, completely disconnected from yesterday's mistakes, frustrations, or failures. But to access this power, you must learn to detach from what is already gone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let the past disturb you. Leave it behind." To him, yesterday was a shadow, something you can learn from, but never something you should carry. The weight of regret, the weight of anger, the weight of disappointment, these are burdens that prevent you from moving with strength and clarity. Each morning, remind yourself. Yesterday cannot be changed. But today is still in my hands. If you made mistakes, acknowledge them, extract the lesson, and release the emotion. If someone hurt you, don't bring their negativity into your new day. If you failed at something, don't let the memory turn into self-doubt. The Stoic chooses learning over suffering and action over rumination. You can practice this principle in a few simple ways. 1. A brief reflection. Spend a minute reviewing yesterday with honesty. Where did you act well? Where did you fall short? Take the lesson, leave the weight. 2. A symbolic reset. Some Stoics would wash their face in the morning as a physical symbol of washing away yesterday's burdens. You can do something similar, take a breath, stretch, or say a single sentence to yourself like, "Today, I begin again." 3. Forgive yourself, and others. Not for them, but for your own peace. Holding on to resentment corrupts your clarity and steals your energy. No Stoic carries poison into a new day. The purpose of detachment is not to erase the past. It is to liberate you from being controlled by it. When you cling to yesterday, you weaken today. When you let go, you reclaim your power. Think of your mind as a container. If it's filled with stale emotions from the past, there is no room for growth, discipline, or purpose. But if you empty it each morning, you make space for strength, focus, and gratitude. And remember, you are not the person you were yesterday. You are the person you choose to be now, in this moment. The Stoics embraced this truth fully. That's why they could move forward with such peace and conviction, their minds were not trapped in what had already happened. When you detach from yesterday, you give yourself permission to live today with full intensity. You become lighter, clearer, stronger. And you prepare yourself for the next principle, one of the most transformative in Stoic philosophy. 5. Strengthen your mind with affirmations. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology confirms today. Your thoughts shape your emotions, and your emotions shape your actions. This is why every morning, before facing the world, you must intentionally strengthen your mind with powerful affirmations, not empty motivational phrases, but grounded reminders of your principles, your values, and your identity. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings by writing what he needed to remember. That people may be difficult, that challenges may arise, that he must remain disciplined, just, courageous, and humble. These were his affirmations, reminders of who he intended to be that day. He wasn't trying to pump himself up. He was training his mind to stay aligned with virtue. Your affirmations should do the same. Affirmations are not about saying, "I'm amazing," or "I'm unstoppable." That's ego. Stoic affirmations are about choosing the mindset you want to carry into the day. Here are examples of Stoic-style morning affirmations. I control my mind, nothing external controls me. I will respond with calm, not anger. I will focus only on what is within my power. Discomfort is a chance to grow stronger. I cannot control others, but I can control my actions. Today, I choose discipline over impulse. I will act according to my values, not my emotions. These are not just words, they are mental armor. Each morning, speak or think your affirmations slowly and intentionally. Feel their meaning. Let them sink into your mind like seeds that will grow throughout the day. You are not trying to escape reality, you are preparing for it. Affirmations also protect you from the chaos of the world. If you don't set your mindset in the morning, the world will set it for you. Someone's negativity, someone's judgment, someone's pressure, these things can hijack your emotions if you don't build a strong mental foundation first. But if you begin your day with clarity and intention, you become far harder to disturb. You move through challenges with steadiness. You become immune to unnecessary emotional storms. Your reactions become deliberate instead of automatic. Stoic affirmations also strengthen two essential virtues, discipline and self-control. You remind yourself that you are the master of your inner world, that your thoughts are not dictators, but tools you choose to use. With time, these affirmations become part of you. They shape your resilience. They sharpen your focus. They elevate your character. The Stoics didn't hope for good days, they prepared for them. And affirmations were one of their sharpest tools. 6. Cold exposure for discipline. While many people see cold exposure as a modern trend, the Stoics practiced forms of it centuries ago. Seneca famously wrote about deliberately embracing physical discomfort to build inner strength. He believed that exposing yourself to manageable difficulty prepares you for the unpredictable challenges of life. Cold exposure, whether a cold shower, a splash of cold water on your face, or a brief moment outdoors, is one of the fastest ways to develop discipline, resilience, and mental clarity first thing in the morning. When you step into the cold, your body resists. Your mind protests. Everything inside you says, "This is uncomfortable. Stop." But this is exactly the moment when Stoic training begins. The goal is not to suffer. The goal is to teach your mind that you can choose action over emotion. If you can overcome the resistance of your own thoughts in the first minutes of your day, you set a powerful tone for everything that follows. Cold exposure rewires your relationship with discomfort. Most people spend their lives avoiding anything uncomfortable, hard conversations, responsibilities, challenges, discipline. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Seek small doses of discomfort deliberately so life cannot break you when discomfort finds you unexpectedly. This brief morning practice builds 1. Mental toughness. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things, even when you don't feel like it. 2. Emotional control. Cold exposure teaches your mind to stay calm even when your body is under stress, a powerful skill for daily life. 3. Increased alertness. The cold sharpens your mind, wakes your nervous system, and pulls you instantly into the present moment. 4. Discipline. Every time you choose the cold, you strengthen the part of your mind that follows through on commitments instead of impulses. You don't need extreme temperatures or long sessions. Even 20 to 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower can reset your mind and set the tone for a stronger day. The key is consistency, choosing discomfort every morning as a form of training. The Stoics believe that comfort makes you fragile. When everything is easy, even small obstacles seem overwhelming. But when you expose yourself to discomfort intentionally, you become harder to shake, harder to discourage, harder to break. Cold exposure is your daily reminder that you are stronger than your impulses, and that the path to discipline begins with small, decisive actions. By the time you finish, the world already feels easier. The day already feels more manageable. Your mind already feels sharper. You have conquered the first challenge of the day, and this victory sets the momentum for everything that comes next. 7. Daily gratitude with reason. Gratitude is often treated as a simple, feel-good practice, but for the Stoics, it was a form of wisdom. They didn't just list what they were grateful for, they examined why they were grateful, and how this gratitude could shape their behavior. Morning gratitude, when practiced with intention, sharpens your awareness, reduces anxiety, and anchors you in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius began many of his writings with appreciation, for the people who guided him, for the lessons he learned, for the simple fact that he was alive to face another day. The Stoics believed that gratitude must be active, not passive. It's not about forcing positivity. It's about recognizing reality clearly. Each morning, take a moment to reflect on 3 things. 1. What you have. Your health, your time, your opportunities, your relationships, even the small comforts you often overlook. 2. What could have been worse. This is where gratitude becomes powerful. When you acknowledge what didn't happen, the problems you avoided, the dangers you escaped, your perspective shifts completely. Seneca wrote that remembering what could have gone wrong strengthens appreciation for what went right. 3. What you can do today. Gratitude is not only about receiving, it's about taking responsibility. Ask yourself, given what I have, how should I act today? This transforms gratitude from a feeling into a guiding principle. The Stoics also believe that gratitude protects you from 2 dangerous mindsets. Entitlement and comparison. When you expect life to give you everything, you become resentful. When you measure your life against others, you become dissatisfied. But when you appreciate what is already in your hands, you gain clarity, humility, and strength. Stoic gratitude is not blind optimism. It does not ignore pain or difficulties. Instead, it balances them. You can be struggling and still feel grateful. You can face challenges and still recognize the good around you. Gratitude becomes a stabilizer, a way to keep your heart steady even when life becomes unpredictable. Another essential part of Stoic gratitude is appreciating the temporary nature of life. Everything you have is borrowed. Nothing is permanent. This awareness does not create fear, it creates deeper value. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you stop taking the present moment for granted. The simple act of morning gratitude shifts your mental state from scarcity to abundance, from stress to clarity, from rushing to appreciating. You begin the day with a balanced mind and a grounded heart. You become less reactive, less frustrated, and more intentional in your actions. When practiced consistently, gratitude becomes one of your strongest tools for resilience. It reminds you that life is not defined by what you lack, but by what you choose to see. 8. Focus on what you can control. If there is one principle that defines Stoicism more than any other, it is this. Your peace depends entirely on focusing only on what is within your control. Everything else, other people's actions, external events, outcomes, judgments, timing, belongs to the outside world. And the Stoics taught that giving your energy to what you cannot control is the greatest source of human suffering. Every morning, before stepping into the chaos of the day, you must remind yourself of this truth. This single practice can prevent frustration, anger, disappointment, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. It is the mental filter that protects your well-being. Epictetus said it clearly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Your job is to be fully responsible for the first, and emotionally detached from the second. Take a moment each morning to separate the two. What you can control. Your thoughts. Your actions. Your mindset. Your effort. Your discipline. Your reactions. How you speak. How you treat people. How you handle difficulties. What you cannot control. Other people's opinions. Their behavior. The results of your work. The past. The future. The economy. Traffic. Delays. Unexpected obstacles. When you focus on what's yours, you become powerful. When you focus on what's not yours, you become weak. Imagine going through your day with this mental clarity. Someone criticizes you. That's their behavior, not in your control. A plan changes unexpectedly. The event is external, your response is internal. You feel stressed. You redirect your energy to what you can influence instead of fighting reality. This principle gives you freedom. It cuts the strings that the world tries to tie around your emotions. It teaches you to act with strength without being attached to outcomes. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every morning. He reminded himself that he couldn't control how others behaved, but he could always control his character. And that is the heart of Stoicism. Virtue over outcome. Effort over result. Process over reward. When you start your day focused on what you can control, several things happen. You resist frustration. You become calmer and harder to provoke. You stop wasting time and energy on the uncontrollable. You face challenges with clarity, instead of panic. You stay aligned with your values regardless of external events. This principle also builds emotional resilience. You learn to live with acceptance, not resistance. You stop trying to bend the world to your will. Instead, you adapt, and by adapting, you become stronger. Every morning, repeat this simple Stoic rule. I control my actions, not the outcomes. When you live by this mindset, nothing external can break you. You move through life with stability, focus, and inner peace. 9. Move your body with purpose. For the Stoics, physical movement was not about aesthetics or fitness trends. It was about strengthening the body so the mind could function at its highest level. They believed that a weak, neglected body makes the mind sluggish, emotional, and easily overwhelmed. A strong, active body creates clarity, resilience, and discipline. Musonius Rufus, one of the great Stoic teachers, wrote that physical training was essential because a philosopher must be prepared to endure discomfort, fatigue, and challenge. To him, exercise was moral training, a way to sharpen willpower and fortify character. Your morning routine should include movement, not as a chore but as a philosophical practice. Not to look good, but to live well. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is intentional movement. This could be a few minutes of stretching, a short walk, breathing exercises, bodyweight training, mobility work, a simple warm-up routine, or anything that wakes the body and prepares the mind. The key is not intensity, it's consistency. When you move your body in the morning, several Stoic benefits emerge. 1. You overcome internal resistance. Getting the body moving, especially when you don't feel like it, builds mental discipline. The Stoics believe that each time you defeat laziness, you strengthen the soul. 2. You calm the mind. Physical movement reduces anxiety, clears mental fog, and resets your emotional state. Your mind becomes sharper and more focused for the challenges of the day. 3. You build resilience. Exercise, even light exercise, exposes you to controlled stress. This makes you mentally tougher and more capable of handling real stress later. 4. You improve emotional control. A tired, inactive body leads to irritability, impatience, and overreaction. A moving body stabilizes your emotions and increases patience, a key Stoic virtue. 5. You align with nature. The Stoics believe that humans are meant to move, explore, work, and act. Movement is not optional, it is natural. Even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor with endless responsibilities, made time to care for his physical health. Not because he had free time, but because he understood that he could not lead effectively if his body was weak or neglected. Your morning movement should be a reminder. I am alive. I am capable. I am responsible for this body. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need long sessions. Just move, with purpose, awareness, and discipline. When you do this daily, your mind becomes sharper. Your confidence grows. Your self-respect increases. You start the day with momentum instead of inertia. This is not just exercise. It is a Stoic ritual, a way to train your mind through the body, and your character through action. 10. Release expectations, embrace effort. One of the most liberating Stoic teachings is learning to release expectations and instead commit fully to effort. Expectations are mental projections, images of how you think life should unfold. They are built from your desires, your hopes, and your imagination. But the problem is simple: expectations depend on external events, and external events are never fully in your control. When you expect a specific outcome, you create an emotional dependency on something uncertain. You want people to behave a certain way, you want results to appear on your timeline, you want success without delay or resistance. And when reality doesn't match the picture you painted in your mind, you feel discouraged, disappointed, or even angry. This emotional turbulence comes from wanting the world to obey your expectations. Stoics teach the opposite approach: focus on your effort. Effort is the only territory you truly command. You can decide how hard you work, how disciplined you remain, how resilient you show up, and how consistently you pursue your purpose. When you anchor your attention to effort rather than outcomes, you regain your inner balance. You are no longer shaken by delays, setbacks, or the unpredictable nature of life. Releasing expectations doesn't mean lowering standards or abandoning ambition. It means understanding that the process is where your power lies. You give your best, you stay committed, you remain patient, and you accept whatever outcome follows. This mindset makes you stronger because you stop tying your peace to circumstances you cannot control. In practical terms, it means working without obsessing over results. You study without expecting immediate praise. You help without expecting gratitude. You build without demanding fast success. You show up every day because effort itself is a form of victory. The result becomes a bonus, not a requirement for happiness. When you shift from expectation to effort, your emotional life becomes lighter. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. You become more resilient, more grounded, and more capable of navigating challenges calmly. This is the Stoic way: to act with excellence and detach from the outcome. Short quote: effort is yours. Outcome is God's. Final message plus call to action. Every morning is a new chance to shape your character, strengthen your mind, and move closer to the life you want. These 10 Stoic principles are not just ideas, they are tools. Tools to help you stay disciplined, grounded, and intentional. But they only work if you use them. Wisdom becomes power only when applied. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up, show up. Choose clarity over distraction. Choose discipline over comfort. Choose purpose over impulse. Even small actions done consistently can transform your entire life. The Stoics believe that greatness is built one simple choice at a time. Start with one principle, repeat it, and let it grow. Now it's your turn. Before you scroll away, tell me which principle you will start applying tomorrow morning. Is it journaling? Silence? Focus? Letting go of expectations? Drop your answer in the comments. Your message might inspire someone else to start their own Stoic morning routine. And if this video helped you, make sure to follow, like, and share it so more people can build a stronger mind every morning. Your new routine begins now.